One of the things that your story is going to need is exposition. Yes, that's right. You need to explain the world that the reader is about to get involved in. I'm recording this refill because Art asked me to do it. And of course I said yes because, well, let's be honest. My value in this relationship is that Art does all of the work, does all of the science, does all of the reading, does all of the planning, does all of the plotting, does all of the stuff online. And I just kind of show up and do a little bit of comic relief because I really wish I was Shane Madej. See right there? That was a little bit of exposition. A little background as to why we're telling you the current story. A really famous example of this, everyone knows this one, Star Wars. At the very beginning, there's the big scrolling block of text that tells you what's going on. If you're new to the world of a story or a book, you need to explain things. Now, you don't need to have a giant block of text at the beginning of your story or your novel or your whatever. You also don't need to hire Harrison Ford to come back and do a couple really half-assed voiceovers for a really weird cut of Blade Runner. Exposition can come through dialogue, exposition can come through history, exposition can come through action. For the most part, you want your exposition to be a light touch. Let's say you have a scene in a coffee shop. You've got one person just tearing through the tickets. Customers need 200,000 cappuccinos and they need them now. The person working at the espresso machine is sweating, working by themselves. Suddenly, someone comes sauntering in from the outside carrying a coffee cup. They have their backpack. They come behind the counter and they look at the person in the espresso machine. And the person at the espresso machine says, "You really got to start getting here on time." Now, just in that small little scene, we have so much information about the two people that are there. One, always working and working hard. The other one comes sauntering in, and they're always late. Yeah, we know who that person is. You probably work with them. But exposition can come in so many ways. And thankfully, since I'm not the student or the scientist or the smart one in this whole podcast, Art has once again been gracious enough to give us the fruit of his labors. When you're presenting exposition, you might want to ask these 4 questions to find out if you're doing it well. The first question is, what history does the audience need to know at this moment to not feel lost in the story? And we'll go back to Star Wars. At the very beginning, when we were all sitting there in the movie theater in 1977, and we saw that big, giant, scrolling text of dialogue, we got an idea of the world that we were going into. It was just enough history to set up 2 spaceships shooting at each other. The second question, what is creating tension or conflict in this scene? Again, let's go back to that Star Wars movie, Princess Leia, she gets captured, she gets brought in front of Darth Vader. Really weird father-daughter reunion, but that's something for another podcast. There's conflict in that scene. We got Darth Vader the bad guy. We got Princess Leia, part of the good guys. Or good women. Or good people. We'll work on that too. But the thing is, there's tension there. There's conflict. We're explaining a little bit of the political situation between 2 people. This is a little more relatable and personable than that big giant block of text. The third question, does it need a whole scene? Well, in this particular case, yes. We need to show Princess Leia from the Rebels. We need to show Darth Vader from the Empire. We need to show what those 2 people want, and that's really done well. And the fourth and final question, does it help to contrast the current state against how things used to be? Again, we're talking with Princess Leia. We're talking with Darth Vader. This is pretty early on in the whole, Empire thing, so Princess Leia is still part of a block of people that are thinking, yo, it used to be like this. There's freedom. There's democracy. You know, all the stuff that was really overdone in those first 3 episodes. But I digress. It shows that the Empire is continuing to spread across the galaxy and being pretty jerky people while they do it. Exposition is extremely important. You gotta do it with a delicate touch. And I find that the best way to find out how to do it is to go and look to see how people did it. Go find it in your favorite short story. Go find it in your favorite long story. Go find it in your favorite novel, your novella, your movie, your TV show. Find out how someone did it well, and then, kind of pull a little bit of the Beastie Boys. Steal a little bit of it, but just to kind of show that you're paying homage. See you next week. Start writing.